All right. So another analysis tool, and I've been doing a lot of summarized data. There are other tools, but there's another analysis tool under summarized data that's called Summarize Within. And it allows me to run descriptive statistics on data that falls within another boundary. So like two layers that fall, like something that falls within this boundary, I can run statistics on it. So I want to know the capacity of the hospitals within city boundaries. That's something that I think is interesting. So what I need to do before I can summarize the hospitals that fall within the city boundaries, I need two layers, right? What do I need? Hospitals and the city boundaries. I'm going to show you. First, we have to start there. So I am going to I'm going to search for layers in ArcGIS Online. I want you to notice that I'm searching in ArcGIS Online this time, not in the Living Atlas and not in my own content. And I'm going to type in Arizona hospitals. And I know that there is Arizona hospitals by AzGeo, and Jenna is here representing the Geographic Information Council, AzGeo. I trust this source. Do you want to say something about it, Jenna?
Sure. So AzGeo is our state clearinghouse. That's our one-stop shop for authoritative data. So I work very hard to have all of our sister agencies and everybody in the state that are authoritative sources for data to put their data in our clearinghouse and make it available to everyone. So what's really cool about it is that you can access it directly through this interface. You don't even have to go to the clearinghouse, although you can, you don't have to. And so Lori's accessing our data through the interface. It's really great.
And then the other layer I said I needed was the Arizona cities, right? And so I've already done a little bit of homework, and I found that there's one called Arizona Incorporated Cities. And again, I'm looking for the one that's by AzGeo because I trust it. That's something you really want to talk to students about when they're starting to add data, is like, you don't want to just put in rando data, you know, you want authoritative data. And so now I have my Arizona hospitals. And when I click, I can get information about the hospital, and I have, I could show the table that shows me what's in there. It has the capacity, okay, and it has lots of information. Then I have the incorporated city boundaries. I also can show the table for that. Again, remember the reason that GIS is powerful is because there's data behind the points. It's not just a point. It's got a lot of information. So it doesn't have a ton there. It's just like the name of the city and the boundary, but I know it's a polygon layer because I can see it's a polygon layer. Cool beans. So I am going to go into the city boundaries layer, and I'm going to, remember I wanted to summarize within. I want to go to summarize data, and I want to summarize within. So within incorporated city boundaries, I want to summarize the Arizona hospitals that fall within the incorporated city boundaries. And I want to add a statistic, and I want to know the capacity, and I want to know the sum. How many beds are in that? So there's lots of hospitals that might fall within a city boundary, like especially if it is Phoenix City, right? There's probably more than one hospital. I want to know the total capacity of all the hospitals in the city boundary. So capacity, my statistic is sum. I could do average or something else, but I want to do sum. And then again, I'm gonna scroll to the extent that I want to run it so I don't waste credits. I'm going to do just at the Arizona credit level. I can see how many credits it takes. Last time I did this, it didn't show up. Okay, it's a very small number of, there's 214 records, so it's not very expensive to run. I'm going to run it. After a couple minutes, it will run and it'll show up on my map. Again, I've already done this, so you don't have to wait for it. And I have it right here. I named it the capacity of Arizona hospitals within incorporated city boundaries, so I know what it is. And now when I turn it on, I can show the, it's not showing me anything because I'm in California. I need to go to Arizona, right? There it is. I can zoom to the layer by really quickly going to zoom to. And there I have it. So now it tells me the number of, I can show, there's, in Wickenburg, there are only 19 beds, hospital beds.
Wow.
In Casa Grande, there are 141 hospital beds. But the cool thing I can see here is I can see that there are hospitals within city boundaries, but look at this, there's no hospital here in Quartzsite. So someone's gonna have to travel if they're in Quartzsite and they need a hospital bed in for COVID. Look, Buckeye is gonna have to travel. So that is another very cool thing. The other thing is, look, I see that there are 91 hospitals within city boundaries. If I compare that to the table of how many hospitals there are total, there are 123 hospitals total. So that means I have 32 hospitals that are outside of city boundaries.